Now, the thing is, the pedophile don't look at or tell you his real age, right, right. Because he's after little girls, right, right. Do I seem like I want a grown woman or a little girl? Right, right. So when you meet people, like I told you, and you had the kind of sex I had, which is called one night stands more, and like I told you, right, right. Grown women though still, right, right. What do you think I'm doing to, again, keep saying all this crap when there's no evidence of any of this really happening unless I make up a story about it, right? That don't make sense with the actual scene, but you're easily willing to believe it. Who was molested? Who molested you? It wasn't me. I don't even know who you are, right? Right, right. See, the thing about that kind of behavior is it's hard to hide, right? Once you start doing it with a child, too, right? Um, right, right. That's what I heard, anyway, right? One, you're, those who got caught doing it, right, right. You know, their situation ain't even in a ballpark what I'm doing, right? I'm a disabled person. I'm home all the time. I don't go out much. When I do, I go to specific places, right? Or for specific reasons, like lunch or, right, watch a movie, and then I come home, right, again, right? Or I go to a doctor's appointment. So, how is this pedophilic? It's not! Right, right. Now, the problem with this little thing you're trying to accuse me of, is this a crime for anyone to do it, right? Even you. Right? Right. But I'm more worried about what you're doing if you're harping on it like this, or what happened to you, right? Right. You won't let go of the idea of pedophilia like you're either a victim or you know someone who was the victim, and you're trying to put it all on me, right? When I'm not exhibiting any behaviors of someone who likes children, right? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You're very racist, right? See, I know when I'm doing the voices too. Does Seth MacFarlane, who does the Family Guy, or even the guy who does Bugs Bunny, right? Mel Blanc, right? No, you don't know nothing about him either, do you? Do you? Do men who do cartoonish voices means they after children if they are men? No, no. See, that's your problem too, right? You keep calling me a pedophile, but what is pedophilic about my behavior when I tell you I'm a 53-year-old man and I'm not hiding that from you, right? See, men who are like that, they don't tell you their real age. In fact, they'll use a picture of a little boy if you heard what they do on SVU a lot, right? And put that up on their profile. Right, right. And go to a teen dating site or whatever. I ain't never done that either, by the way, right? Not an adult dating site, right? Like I told you, if you're insane because you're a victim of child molestation, I'm not your molester. No, you're not. I don't even know what you're talking about or who you are, right? No. And I don't have a clue to anyone I touched inappropriately while I was dating either, even with one night stands, right? Mhm. Mhm. Except for two 12-year-old girls, right, who was living with a roommate or a boyfriend who was kicked out, right? Mhm. Only two girls, underage girls, could have tried to do something with me, and even then I would try to talk them out of it. And, that's all I know I would do. Right? And all I can do is tell them the facts. It's a crime for any man over 18 to have sex with you, right? Period, dude. And I would try to tell them the facts of that, right? And that though you can have sex with someone, you're supposed to wait till you're of age, right? Mhm. Now, like I said though, the girls, if she woke me up in either situation, right? One knew I was trying to meet her mom, right? I met her mom and brought them both home, right? The other one, I got there with her mom and started to have the sex with mom, and then she left me in the living room and went to sleep, right? So from the time she went to sleep to the time I woke up the next morning, and with no memory of anything happening, again, like I told you, this is hypothetical anyway, right? As everybody started getting up the next morning, there was the roommate, the daughter, and maybe a son. I forget all the details, but anyway, right. And the mom, of course, who I've been with the night before, right? So she starts making us breakfast or something like that. Right, right. Anyway, right. And then the next door neighbor comes over from next door for some reason. Right, right. So anyway, so I start trying to lay on the floor, gotta watch the TV, whatever, right, right. And the next thing I know, the girl starts hovering over my face and tries to sit on my mouth. Right. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Though, like I told you, though, what could have happened would have to be made up, right? Based on what happened the next morning, right? Which is the amnesic part if the girl woke me up after her mom went to sleep and left me in the living room, right, right. But I don't remember nothing happening either, right? See, if I have to make up what happened, I don't know if that's true anymore. But I know I don't try to have sex with the child. All I can do is tell the child that me and the mother can have sex with me and her kid, right? And that she's too young, in some people's point of view, or period, according to the law, to even have sex at her age. So physically, she can't, right? You can't tell someone they can't have sex. That would be a lie, right? But okay, let's say she made a move on me and I was laying on the floor and she had sex with me. And I just laid there. Was that me having sex with her? No. Right. She's having sex with me, right? If she's on top, right? And I told her we're not supposed to have sex, so she did it anyway, right? Right? Right. Mm-hmm. Am I, if, I told her I did her mom orally, right? And say she tried to put her vagina in my face, and I have to breathe or move around. Whatever, right? I didn't tell her to, right? But she did anyway, right? Right, right. Exactly, right. Then who's the aggressor? The girl. The girl. If neither I nor her can have sex with the other, right? And I told her that we can both do it, but we're not supposed to do it. It's against the law of Virginia or the state we're living in. Says we can't do that, right? Right. So you can tell her too, right? And I'm still there. I don't have nowhere else to go. I don't know if there's even a phone in the apartment to call the police or anything. Right? What can I do about it if the little girl starts while I'm sleeping, right, trying to have sex with me? I'm asking you a question hypothetically. I don't know. I don't know if this happened or not, right? Is that my fault as an adult male, right? If I'm trying to tell the child, no, we can have sex, we're not supposed to, right? But technically we can. And say she told me the roommate was going into her room while her mom was out and was blessing her, but never had sex with her yet, right? What am I supposed to do about all that if I'm trapped there till next morning anyway, if she were to do that? Right? See, I don't got nowhere else to go either. I just got there with the mom, and so I'm there till morning, right? I didn't expect the daughter to come in there and wake me up and question me, which is called the third degree, by the way, right? Her mom's new boyfriend, kind of, right? You see what I mean? Right, right. Now, I'm required to tell her not to do that with me or her roommate, right? I would also tell her, here's what you do if the roommate tries to do something with you. You're supposed to yell out and call, right, for help. And here's what they tell you to say: fire. Don't, right. Just say help, right? Don't just say, right, right. Say fire, right, right. The reason is, most people don't hear the word help, right? Do they hear the word fire? They hear the word fire. Now, another thing about someone trying to get on top of you, punch them in the eye. The quickest way to get someone who's trying to get on top of you off of you, book them in the eye. Before they can even do anything. I think maybe if the girl woke me up or not, right? Whether we did something or not, if she's trying to put her crotch in my face the next morning based on that, maybe you're. That's all I might have told her about it. So I'm there right till morning. Can the girl have sex with me, but me tell her not to? Yes. So yes, I'm the adult, but I'm telling her we're not supposed to. But I'm the man. Right, right. Right? Is that me making her have sex with me, or her having sex with me despite our age difference? Right? Two, right? That's hypothetical, that right? Not with real memory, right? Meaning, right? If she did, and me and the mom somehow found out afterwards, right? I told her why, right? Right, too, right? The roommate could have been molesting the little girl, and the mom wouldn't believe it or something, right? Right. And again, that's all I would know to tell the mom, right? And that I couldn't tell the daughter no, right? And she had sex with me while I was laying on the floor, right? And she probably said, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Right. And I was kind of in a bad situation because I didn't know what to even tell the girl because I'm her mom's lover for the night. Right. And again, I'm in an awkward position anyway, right? Because the girl wants to know what I did with her mama, probably too. You know what I mean? See? What did I do with her mother? Well, I tried to make love to her, tried to lick her, tried to have sex with her on the outside. Love seat, right, right. So if I was to tell her that, so, right, and I told her, well, yeah, you know, we met at the club, blah, 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 and you know, her two friends, and right, right. We kind of hooked up, right, right. Had sex, right, right. What am I doing there? Just trying not to bite her because I'm kind of caught in living room with her alone. Right. But I'm still not, like I told you, trying to do anything with her, right, at all, when she caught me, right. That's all I can think of that might have happened in Virginia that I don't remember if it happened or not. But that's with one girl, right, where her mom and me had hooked up, right, after I heard the voices still, right, before I got to the hospital still, even, right, just going through the mental problem, right, fresh, dealing with it, right, too. So again, right, this was September of '93 after I heard the voices and around June of '93, I think, right. So I was still not being my true self, right? Who I was before I joined the Navy, right? That's the problem too. Anything in the Navy or after the voices, right? I'm no longer mentally sound, I'm mentally ill, right? I'm not being Shane before the voices, I'm Shane after the voices after '93, right? See, you can't compartmentalize all this or change what happened with the Navy because it's written down, right? Dr. Weinrep backs up her statement that I was fit for psychological duty before I left Norfolk. I mean, Great Lakes. And before I got to Norfolk, right? That's your problem. That is your problem. Do. I know. Anything after I started hearing voices in '93 is not normal behavior for me anyway. Now, Sheena was my sixth one night stand, right? I was with someone for 3 months, which was Rose, from January to March, right? And I got engaged with her, and she had a daughter from a previous relationship, but she was a young child, right? And again, right? Right. And that's all I can tell you about that, right. But she broke off the engagement before we went off to sea, right. I get. So that means I'm trying to date a woman or women, right. No children involved, right. I even went up to Boston and met the woman at the USO, like I said, right. But up to then, I'm only with 5 women, and then Sheena, and then the voices, and then, right, I get back. And the first girl I meet is the one at the club, like I said, with their 2 friends, right? Then I meet a woman named Lisa, a woman named Tanya, right? Lisa and Tanya want money for sex, so I give Lisa $80 and Tanya 50, right? And we have sex, right? And this again is when after you heard voices, right. And I'm more Samson like or Hosea like, really. That's the thing. I'm no longer Shane waiting for marriage Shane. I'm Shane who read that Moses said you can have free marital sex if you intend to marry the person. And even Samson was a prostitute, and Hosea married one, so I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why am I so prim and proper? I'm not Paul either. I think I'm more identified with Samson and Hosea there, right. I'm just saying, right. Those are in your Bible too, by the way. Yes, it is. And if you're hearing voices by that time, but no one's working with you, and you're being harassed, you're gay, and you're trying to find a wife, right. And then after that, I met my ex-wife, right. So again, right, I'm all confused of it, right, with everything I was shown, right. Both religiously, psychologically, and yeah. But from Dr. Weinrep, I'm still not hearing the voices until 2 years later, after Dr. Weinrep, right. So we're not talking about, right, I'll leave Great Lakes and then go to the ship, and then as soon as I get to the ship, I start hearing voices, right. is when I meet Sheena and start praying and fasting and all that stuff. Then I hear voices, right? See, I'm telling you what happened, right? Not what you want to happen, what I know happened in my mind, right? Not just in my mind, but in my reality with the people I'm around. That's their lying out their ass, right? See, the problem with the shipmates is they can only lie on me, right? The fact that I'm with the woman, though, and married my ex-wife after I got off the ship proves I'm trying to find a wife, even though they're harassing me about my training, right? And I don't even know what they're doing. It's called quid pro quo, right? See, what that is someone's calling you gay, right? And asking if you're gay. But guess who's supposed to train you? He is. And I didn't get what he was doing, right? I didn't have a clue what he meant. I know I didn't. Right? And nobody was showing me anything in detail about being an electrician on the ship where I could do the job and know what I was doing. Right? Mm-hmm. They kind of seemed like they didn't give a damn if I learned anything. Right? Even when I was trying to work with them, they were kind of half, doing it. Right? Right? I'm like, well, okay, right. I know. And they were sending me off with only the work card, but I was supposed to figure out what to do with only the work card, right? I didn't know what I was doing. Right? Now, as it kept going on, they kept started putting me in other divisions where if I was able to do something like a watch or something, I was able to do the watch and had no problems there, right? But every time I came back to my division, they just went back to not training me and that like it was my fault, right? Right? A fact's a fact, right? If someone's half-ass training you, you can't do the full job, right? And see, the thing is, they're running the shop. I'm supposed to be working from 8 to 4, right? Right. In port or out the sea, right? And they're the ones giving me the tools to do the job, supposedly, right? But not everything I needed to do the job, because the one thing I didn't know is what the piece of equipment I was supposed to work on even look like, right? Right? And they know I can't do that with just the work card, right? There's nothing to go by to know what the piece of equipment even looks like, right? Well, if you know the books had to do with that, and I didn't, right? You don't tell me, hey, well, so you need the books too, right? Right. Another thing is, I didn't see them using the books, they were just all on the shelf. I mean, they only got to point them out, like I told you, was when I first got to the ship, right? During the first month, E3 leap. So there's books on the shelf there if you need them. Right, right. Okay. But the weird thing is, I didn't see them using them. Right. I didn't see really any, right, right, job they were doing. Right, right. Mm-hmm. And they were always giving me the half work card and telling me to go off and do something. Right. So I was trying to do something with what they gave me. Right, right. I didn't know. Right, right. Anything more about it, right? Or less about it, right? I'm not, again, omniscient. Now, what you gotta do, like Jesus said sometimes, is put yourself in someone else's shoes and listen to their story, right? Not after I started hearing voices and got on with these on everybody, right? Because I started to hear about the Gnostic Gospels and reading all that stuff, right? And the first thing they tell you about is God's a dyad of both male and female. Right? That's what a dyad is, by the way. It's 2 in 1. It's 2 in 1. Which is what Paul said about Jesus in the first place, right? The Jew and Gentile are one in Christ Jesus. The male and female are one in Christ Jesus. The bond and free are master and slave are one in Christ Jesus. Now that goes to rich and poor, black and white, and what else? Gay and straight, straight and gay, straight and gay. Because if you're both genders, and you marry or not, or you have sex or not, and Moses' law doesn't allow for premarital sex, right? You weren't taught the law how Jesus read the law. Do you hear me? There was no New Testament when Jesus was born. Jesus only had the Old. Read Exodus 22, 16 and 18. Right? How would he see the woman at the well if she was unmarried but living with the dude? Right. But had 5 husbands and divorced by all 5 husbands. Is she old enough to consent to sex with Jesus? Yes. And he stayed with them for 2 days. And he's offering her living water that shall never die. You don't get that, do you? You don't get no sexual metaphor in the Bible, not even the Song of Solomon, where the woman sitting under his tree, his shadow. And her fruit is sweet to her teeth, her mouth, her palate. Okay. So don't read your Bible and pretend you know what it means, right? See, Jesus read Song of Solomon long before you even thought of reading it, Christians. And what your Christian pastors are telling you about it today ain't even close to the truth, right? They don't get it. They don't get it. This is how you make love to a woman, too. You kiss her. You embrace her, right? You go down to her door and knock. But not with your finger sometimes and with your own mouth, right? If you're a good man. If you're a good man. And like I said, how do you see me picking up a 15-year-old girl? I don't know it's 15, right?